I was first diagnosed probably around 4 or almost coming 5 years ago now. Started off probably like most people did, and started quite mild stomach issues. Always had the fatigue, and haven't really had much of an appetite most of my life. A handful of medications, so I was on so many I can't even remember some of the names, so I'll try to remember some of them. Prednisone, which is a steroid, butamazide or something along the lines of that. That one. Buscopan, omeprazole, pantoprazole, pentazole, mesalamine.
Sleeping pills.
I was on, and then as a result of all that medication, I was having to take anti-nausea tablets. I was on 2 anti-nauseas. I can't remember those names either. Then I was taking sleeping pills for my insomnia because of all the steroids. And then I was taking anti-anxiety medication because of what I was going through. And also I was taking antidepressants because of what I was going through. When I was in hospital, Crohn's specialists came and saw me, and they gave me a book and basically said, you have this condition, you have it for the rest of your life, you'll be on medication for the rest of your life. And they said diet has nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter what you eat. Even in the book they gave me, it said many people think that diet has something to do with IBD. It does not. Maybe some people have trigger foods. So I just assumed that they were the professionals, and I listened to them and kept eating whatever I want for the next 3 years or so. And until all of a sudden I came into my second really bad flare-up, felt the exact same thing was happening again, and I knew what path I was going down. Went to back to my gastro doctor. He started giving me the same medications. I knew what was coming again, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So I started doing research, and luckily a friend told me about Shamiz. So I started looking on his YouTube, and I think I watched like almost every single video of his. And like I stayed up all night and was just watching all these videos because I was actually on night shift for my job at that point. And it just made so much sense to me. Well, firstly, after seeing all the testimonial videos, that was like a big thing for me. Like seeing all these other people having such good results. I wanted to get the same results they were getting. Also, I didn't want to be on medications. I hated the side effects of all the medications I used to be on. I just wanted my energy back, and it just seems so simple. Eat fruit and vegetables. It seems like the logical thing to do to me. So my calprotectin level wasn't like crazy high compared to what I've seen other people's, but it was at 450, which was above normal, showing inflammation in my bowels. After I think it was 3 months of being on this diet, it went down to I think 150. And my doctor was quite surprised at that. And then after another month, it was down completely in normal range. And then the next month after that, completely normal range. And the next month after that, completely normal range. And he was my doctor was surprised and said not many people can actually get these results with just diet and no medication. I have no pain anymore ever, no nausea anymore. Occasionally I might have like an off day, but nothing compared to what it used to be. And I can still get out and exercise. I've still got all my energy. It's just, it's nothing like it used to be. I'm eating everything really, anything that's plant-based. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, everything, anything on the plant-based spectrum. I'm just going through it all. I'm trying. I haven't had this much variety in my diet ever in my whole life.
Hey guys, welcome to another video. We have the awesome Matt here who's going to share his story on how he has been able to reverse his Crohn's disease on a plant-based diet without medications as well. So we're going to go over his whole journey from start to finish. So when he got diagnosed, what did he do? What did the doctors say to finding a new lifestyle, finding high carb health, going through the program, explaining some of the challenges that he faced, the detox symptoms, and how he has been able to turn his life around now and how awesome he's doing. So we're going to start off with Matt's journey, and he's going to explain to us about how he's been able to overcome his disease and start with his diagnosis. So I'm just going to hand it over to him.
I was first diagnosed probably around 4 or almost coming 5 years ago now. Started off probably like most people did, and started quite mild stomach issues. I've always had the fatigue, and haven't really had much of an appetite most of my life. So I keep going back to the doctor, and eventually they started me off on a PPI, which was omeprazole, and basically it just kept getting worse, even though I was taking the medication, so they kept upping me on the dose.
Is that because you were having stomach pain? Or
Yeah, I was having really bad stomach pains.
initially?
Yeah, it was mostly the stomach pains, and burning in my stomach.
So they gave you some PPI for the stomach lining? Right?
Yeah, for the stomach lining, yeah, but it didn't do anything really yet at all. Just made it worse, to be honest. And then they eventually put me on some another PPI, which was pantoprazole, I think it was called, which got worse again. And by that time, I think I had lost around, within 3 months, I had lost 25 kgs. And basically, I couldn't eat anything. I was in so much pain. I couldn't leave the house. Had really bad fatigue, chronic fatigue. Couldn't leave my bed sometimes. Insomnia. And by that point, I had been given a handful of medications. So I was on so many, I can't even remember some of the names. So I'll try to remember some of them. Prednisone, which is a steroid. Butamazide or something along the lines of that.
Budesonide.
That one. Buscopan, omeprazole, pantoprazole, pentazole, mesalamine.
Sleeping pills.
I was on, and then as a result of all that medication, I was having to take anti-nausea tablets. I was on 2 anti-nauseas. I can't remember those names either. Then I was taking sleeping pills for my insomnia because of all the steroids. And then I was taking anti-anxiety medication because of what I was going through. And also I was taking antidepressants because of what I was going through. And yeah, for the first 5 months or 3 months, the doctors actually didn't know what was wrong with me. I kept going back, kept getting sent home. I think I went to around 12 different doctors. Every time I was just told, sent home with a new medication, and we didn't know what was wrong. For some reason, I didn't get a colonoscopy for a long time. Until one day, I was just sick of it, and I took myself to hospital, and I told them, I'm not leaving until you find what's wrong with me. And then it took them around, I stayed in there for 3 months. And then while I was in hospital, I was just put on more and more medications. Thankfully, I was never on any immune suppressant drugs, which I probably wouldn't have taken anyway. Unless I was really desperate, I probably would have, who knows. But yeah, while I was in hospital, I just kept getting worse and worse. My symptoms just increased.
And how long ago was this?
That was around, I'd say, 4 years ago. And then I got it under control using steroids, finally, after a few months. And then I stopped all medications, basically, apart from pentazole. And then after that, I was basically just in a average state for the next 3 years. I was just in a real tired, fatigued state, and food didn't really agree with me. Most food didn't agree with me. I always was having mini flare-ups.
So, yeah, I mean, Matt's life wasn't that great before. He tried medications. They didn't really work. And kind of he was left just, nothing to do because the doctors pretty much, didn't say diet has anything to do with it. What did your doctor actually say? Just obviously tell us. But, this is life for many people out there that suffer from this condition and don't know about nutrition, because this is, it's vital. What you eat is vital for, how you feel. So you are what you eat. And so, talk to us about how you started researching and what did you do to finally kind of go, right, I've had enough of this. I want to do something about it. And what made you kind of get spurred on to try something new or see something different? Talk about how you did your research, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, for your first question about what doctors said about nutrition, or what I can and can't eat. When I was in hospital, Crohn's specialists came and saw me, and they gave me a book and basically said, you have this condition, you have it for the rest of your life, you'll be on medication for the rest of your life. And they said diet has nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter what you eat. Even in the book they gave me, it said many people think that diet has something to do with IBD. It does not. Maybe some people have trigger foods. So I just assumed that they were the professionals, and I listened to them and kept eating whatever I want for the next 3 years or so. And until all of a sudden I came into my second really bad flare-up, felt the exact same thing was happening again, and I knew what path I was going down. Went to back to my gastro doctor. He started giving me the same medications. I knew what was coming again, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So I started doing research, and luckily a friend told me about Shamiz. So I started looking on his YouTube, and I think I watched like almost every single video of his. And like I stayed up all night and was just watching all these videos because I was actually on night shift for my job at that point. And it just made so much sense to me, his journey. And if you want to get results, follow someone who is getting the results that you want. And Shamiz is doing that. So
yeah, well, I mean, all those people that have been watching my YouTube videos, well, here's another one for you, and get inspired by what Matt has been able to do, and we're going to be talking about that soon. So you started watching my videos, and what made you actually reach out to me and say, hey, let's do this, or let's start this process, I guess, of getting better? Like what made you kind of initiate that? What pulled the trigger, I guess?
Well, firstly, after seeing all the testimonial videos, that was like a big thing for me. Like seeing all these other people having such good results, I wanted to get the same results they were getting. Also, I didn't want to be on medications. I hated the side effects of all the medications I used to be on. I just wanted my energy back, and it just seems so simple. Eat fruit and vegetables. It seems like the logical thing to do to me.
I suppose there are obviously quite a few people out there suggesting different diets or different protocols and things like that. What made you choose the plant-based lifestyle? Was it, because of me? Was it because of the science that's behind a plant-based diet? What was the kind of click that you got? Explain to the audience why you chose a plant-based diet, compared to like a healthy omnivore diet, for example.
Well, first of all, I didn't really know too much about nutrition, so I was following Shamiz, and I basically just wanted to get the results you were getting. So I thought, why not just copy exactly what you're eating? So I did, and I started seeing the results. And then throughout the program, I started learning about the scientific side of things and the science-backed studies about plant-based diets and all their longevity benefits. And it just made sense to me reading all this, and I've seen all these other plant-based athletes out there doing their thing, just eating fruit and veg. So if the science is pointing that way, and I'm seeing other people thrive on this diet, then I don't see why I couldn't.
Yeah, nice. I think the Game Changers is what you watched as well, wasn't it? That really kind of changed your mindset and backed what you wanted, right? And if you haven't watched it already, guys, go and watch the Game Changers on Netflix. While you're there, go watch What the Health and Cowspiracy as well. Great documentaries if you want to really understand the plant-based diet and why it's so beneficial, not only for us, but many other issues around the world. So, okay, you decided to join. How was the program? So talk to us about what you went through from day one onwards. Talk to us about the results that you got and that you were getting slowly. Talk to us about some of the challenges that you faced.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about with the detox, I guess. I don't really know where to start. When I first started the program, I actually started my detox because I wasn't eating anything. I think I'd gone like a week or 5 days without eating anything because it was too painful for me. So before I even started with Shimiz, I had already seen one of his YouTube videos that basically just said what to eat. I think it was like healing food video or something like that. So I just copied exactly what he was doing in that video and just eating. I was juicing in the morning and having my smoothies and then eating a cooked meal at night. So I didn't know that you were supposed to kind of go into like a transition diet beforehand. So I kind of jumped straight into the detox. It put me into bed for a while. I had some pretty increased symptoms initially, which I knew was expected. So for the first week or so, it was quite tough. I'll go through my symptoms. So I was having, my main symptoms that I hated the most was the nausea. It was just horrible. It was stopping me from eating anything. It just made me want to throw up. Basically, every single morning I'd wake up and I felt like I had the worst hangover of my life. But that was every single morning. Pain in my stomach whenever I ate anything, which actually helped when I went on the healing diet. I couldn't really eat anything before I was on the healing diet because it was just causing too much pain. So I could actually stomach some foods, which was good. So when on the first week, it would be really horrible. I'd have such a horrible time and all my symptoms would be bad, like headaches, nausea, increased bowel movements, a lot of other symptoms as well. Like I had acne all around the back of my head, really bad back pains. I ended up going to the chiropractor for that. Super bad fatigue. So I'd have a really bad week. 1 week would be like real bad. And then maybe I'd have a good day. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling better. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'd come back and it would be horrible again for another week or even 2 weeks. And then I'd have another good day or maybe 2 days. And then I'd be like, oh, am I healed now? Is it this time that I'm going to be healed? And then boom, it would just come back again. And then maybe I'd only be healed for and 3 days later, I'd be healed for another day. And then it would just come back again. And then the days started getting more and more, the good days started getting more and more frequent. So maybe I started having 3 or 4 good days in a row. And then all of a sudden after 2 months or probably 3 months, I had a week where I just had a real good week. And I was like, I think I messaged him or emailed him. I was like, yeah, man, I've had such a good week. I feel so good. I got so much energy. And then next minute, boom, I'd be back on Skype with him and I'd be telling him, oh, it's back again. All my symptoms are back. And I'd be like, am I ever going to heal? And it just started getting more and more frequent. So then after around 4 months, I think I had 2 good weeks in a row. And then after 5 months, I think I had a month in a row. And then all of a sudden, I don't have any bad days anymore. It just suddenly turned all of a sudden, and I just feel good every single day now.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we did work a lot on his mindset as well, and that's why, with this condition, it's not only your diet, it's everything that we talk about in our videos. The 5 things that we talk about. So you got food, obviously, exercise, water, sleep. There were some times where, you had a lot of anxiety about your condition and you didn't know if you were going to get better or not. And obviously I had to coax him through that and say, look, this is going to get better eventually. You just got to hang in there. You got to have patience. And obviously he has had that patience. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. But you saw the good days and you started to believe in yourself, right? And I think that was the key turning point where you had the trust in yourself. And when you understood that the body is this self-healing marvel and that it can do this by itself, I think it gave you more confidence to keep going.
So one day I was feeling super, super nauseous and I couldn't eat anything that day. And I think I was just having a bit of anxiety. So I ended up going to the doctor's. And I had a meeting scheduled with Shimiz that day, but I just couldn't wait any longer. And the doctor gave me some prednisone pills. And then I had my meeting with Shamiz. I didn't take the pills, and after having the meeting with Shamiz, I ended up not taking them. And I'm so happy I didn't, because they're sitting on my shelf right now. It's kind of like a little trophy to me. Like, it's like they're sitting up there, like I didn't take them, haven't opened them, which is quite cool.
So this was a pretty cool experience for Matt as well when he was going through his journey, and when he was having these ups and downs. He obviously got blood tests, and his GI was monitoring him at the time, and there was a special result that came through actually with his calprotectin. And if you want to kind of go through that experience that you had with your doctor and how it started off really high or whatever, and then it came down, and just tell us what happened.
So my calprotectin level wasn't like crazy high compared to what I've seen other people's, but it was at 450, which was above normal, showing inflammation in my bowels. After I think it was 3 months of being on this diet, it went down to I think 150, and my doctor was quite surprised at that. And then after another month, it was down completely in normal range. And then the next month after that, completely normal range. And the next month after that, completely normal range. And he was my doctor was surprised and said not many people can actually get these results with just diet and no medication.
Yes, it just shows you that, it's a very powerful diet, and, you don't necessarily need to be on medications to get these results. For me, it's been 8 years now, and I'm absolutely thriving. I haven't had any issues, and this is taking control of your life, basically. And Matt's doing that now. He's not, in prison to going to the doctor, getting checked and stuff. He's free, and I think this is a great opportunity for him to really keep going and to understand that this disease doesn't define you. Just going back to his healing crisis or detox, you've experienced obviously that before with previous flares, so it wasn't anything new that he experienced. It was just kind of reliving those episodes that he had before, but this time around he was putting in the right fuel for his body to then come out the other side and heal. And I think that's something that you guys got to understand is that, when you go through this healing crisis or flare, it's not the same as your previous flares. You're going to actually come out the other side, and you're going to start thriving on this food that you're going to be eating, consistently. And eventually your body's going to get up to speed, and it's going to start working as it should. So now, and obviously, after the 5 months, I was pretty excited for Matt because he'd been through a lot, obviously, and I started to see the confidence in him. I started to see how his body was changing, and we started to kind of expand his diet because for the most part, he was eating quite a few potatoes. So I'll chuck some images on the video so you can see what he was eating before. And so, he was very, very consistent. I'm just going to go back to that phase that he was in and talk about the food. How did you find the food, and was it hard to stick to, and what made you stick to it?
So I guess for me, it wasn't really that tough food-wise because I knew that it was the right food to be nourishing my body, and it all tasted really good to me as well. So it wasn't too tough.
Sweet. Well, there you go. I mean, some people find it really hard to just eat potatoes and stuff, but if you have the right mindset, if you have the right attitude, anything is possible. And good old Matt here had the right attitude, and he got the job done, and that's why he's here speaking to you guys today. So yeah, cool. So let's talk about your life now, and I guess what is it like coming from where you were 3 years ago? Let's just think back. And the freedom that you have now, the worrying that you don't have now, it's hard to remember what it was like back in the day. And same with me, I do get constant reminders of that when I talk to clients, but it does become a distant memory. And so try and remember, I guess, what it was like before, and explain it to the audience what your life was like before, and how it compares to now, and how amazing you feel.
So before, I was basically in and out of flares all the time, cycling through them. I was house ridden quite often, where I'd just feel too sick to leave or just be too low energy. Even on my good weeks, I'd be lucky if I could go to the gym maybe once or twice a week. I'd feel like good with myself. But now I haven't had this much energy since I was probably ever, to be honest, since I was like 15 or 16 years old. But I probably have more energy since back then. I exercise almost every day now because it's really enjoyable. It's really good for your mind as well. And I just appreciate it so much more now. Like when I was sick, all I wanted to do was just go out and exercise and go out and do things that normal people could do. Now I can do that, so I appreciate it so much more, and I realize how much you can lose when you're sick.
And in terms of your body, your physical body, do you have any pain? Do you have any issues with your bowel movements? And what kind of food are you eating now?
So I still eat quite a lot of the healing foods sometimes, quite often. I eat a lot of potatoes and still have the smoothies because that gives me the best digestion. I have no pain anymore ever, no nausea anymore. Occasionally I might have like an off day, but nothing compared to what it used to be. Like, and I can still get out and exercise. I've still got all my energy. It's just, it's nothing like it used to be. Food, kind of food I'm eating. I'm eating everything really, anything that's plant-based. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, everything, anything on the plant-based spectrum. I'm just going through it all. I'm trying. I haven't had this much variety in my diet ever in my whole life. I'm still trying new foods every single day. Like we just tried some lychee before. Is that what they were? Lychee? Yeah, lychee. So yeah, they were mean. Tasted like giant grapes, but like raspberry grapes.
I've never heard that one before with lychee. I think it's from my understanding, I think they taste a little bit like lemonade, and they're just like a Sprite. Like I don't know, but anyway. So no, that's awesome. I mean, look, this is what happens when you heal your gut. You are able to then go and eat, all the other kinds of foods. I mean, whole food plant-based diet is not restrictive, and you can eat lots of amazing foods. And follow Matt. He's got an awesome Instagram as well, so I'll put that in the description below. You can see exactly what he does. He pretty much does what I do online, where I show everything to you guys. What I eat, from what I eat to what I do exercise-wise, etc. And Matt is doing pretty much the same thing. And so give him a follow so that you can see what someone with Crohn's, or someone that did have Crohn's, what their life is like now, and how they are disease-free without medications. So just to kind of finish up a little bit here is, what advice would you give to other people that are looking into plant-based diets? And if they're watching my videos, if they're watching this video as well, what would you tell them to do? And
I guess just stay consistent with the foods you're eating. Try not to do too much research like I was doing. There's so much conflict online, and it can end up stuffing up your mindset. If you want to heal, you actually need to believe you're healing. That's like one of the steps to healing. If you don't believe you're healing, then you probably won't be able to heal as easily. So I'll just keep to a really simple, plain diet and be patient. Don't try and jump into all these crazy new foods while you're still healing. You want to keep it as simple as possible. Make sure that you're getting as much rest as possible, as much sleep as possible as well. Sometimes when I was healing, I was taking up to 10 to 12 hours sleep on the weekends. Go out and read plant-based books like Fiber Fueled and The China Study was a real game changer for me. Get out there and follow people who are seeing results on plant-based diet, and come to your own conclusions. There's so many other people out there saying different things about gut health and IBD, but if you go back to the science and research and see what is actually going to be best for you for longevity and long term, then you'll see that this is the best way to go.
Well, thanks, Matt. It's been awesome to share your journey, and obviously, there's probably things that you've missed out, but hey, we're here, and it's been, you know, amazing to work with you, man, and to really see you progress and see you grow as a person, because it's not only the disease that you're healing every aspect of your life as well. And honestly, when I first started working with Matt, you know, he was quite enclosed as a person, and you know, he was quite shy, and he's seriously opened up so much. He's so much more confident in himself, and I think this is what happens when you heal an incurable condition that the doctors, you know, have told you to be on medication for the rest of your life. You know, you're not doing that anymore, and you get a sense of freedom and, you know, liberation, because you don't want to be sick for the rest of your life. And he's done something about it, and he's learnt about why he should be eating these foods for his gut, and why it's not only for his gut, but for heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, all these lifestyle diseases. He's reduced his risk dramatically, and he understands that, and that's why he continues to eat a plant-based diet even after working with us. You know, it's been about 3 or 4 months now after working with us, and it's you know, it's amazing how he's been able to take control of his life. And so yeah, thanks again, Matt, for sharing your story. I'm sure someone out there will be you know, thankful for that. And just like you were once upon a time looking at other testimonials, you're in the hot seat now. And thank you so much for sharing, and you know, all the best to you in the future. And you know, you're doing such an amazing job. Yeah, he's gonna be faster than me now, running and stuff now. He's already doing so well, and he's going to surpass me, which is amazing, because, you know, he was quite athletic before when he was you know, younger, and he's reliving those days, and he's enjoying it now, which is awesome. And I think it's sometimes hard for Matt to speak about this, because, you know, you can be quite tense speaking about his journey, but, you know, there's a lot more to come from Matt, and maybe later down the track we can speak about how he's ending up and how he's doing. Yeah, thanks so much for obviously coming to us, and you know, you have a life after Crohn's, man, so congratulations.
Cheers, man. And yeah, I really appreciate everything you do for everyone. It's so awesome. And if you want to heal your IBD or Crohn's, then go on a plant-based diet and see the results for yourself.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. Give this video a like if you liked it, so give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.